Hello Booktube, it's Becky from BrekkeWrites, and this is sort of a life update. So those of you who have not been living under a rock know that the coronavirus is a thing and that a lot of communities are in shelter in place or stay-at-home orders. I live in West Virginia and we are under those orders. Hey, there's my pantry cabinets. And I want to talk about anxiety and how we deal with anxiety, because I have had a lot of anxiety, and that anxiety means I have not been reading any fiction. I cannot read any fiction. I'm halfway through Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and I cannot pick it up because I can't deal with any emotional stress right now, because between my job and my family, I can't add any emotional stress. So I'm emotionally exhausted, so I'm not reading any fiction. The only nonfiction that I'm reading is I'm rereading cookbooks, which those of you who've been around a while know that cookbooks are my comfort read. I know that sounds totally whack, but that's the case. And I've also been handling my anxiety by trying to be uber productive at home. So I talked about this a little bit over on Instagram, but when I'm really stressed out, one of the ways that I try to compensate for feeling like I have no control in the world is by exerting extensive control at home. This is totally a coping mechanism. Comes out of the fact that I'm a child of alcoholic parents, and my only way for having control in an area and an environment where I didn't have a lot of control, I was never abused. Let me put that really clear. Neglect, but not abuse. But my way of dealing with needing to control when I can't control other people, right? I know I can't control other people, is to control my environment. So I've been doing a lot of home projects, and I'm going to show you a few of the things that I have been doing. So one of the home projects that I've been working on is canning. This is home canned chicken in chunks that I did yesterday. I have 11 pints of home canned chicken. And then I did 3 pints of chicken broth because I made chicken the other day. This is part of my pressure canner. That's the lid. I've already removed the gauge. But a pressure canner is what you need to can meats or non-acidic vegetables. Anything that's not acidic has to be pressure canned. You have to use pressure in order to kill the botulism. And so I cooked these at 15 pounds of pressure for 75 minutes. So that was my yesterday project. And as you can see over here with my tower of venison, this was my project from earlier in the week. I did 2 batches of 8 jars. So I have 16 pints of venison floating around. I need to label it and find some shelving for it. This was all venison that a neighbor gave to us and has been in my freezer. You can see my messy tea stash and my Worcestershire sauce because we're gonna make some yummy Chex Mix. But these are things that I am doing to exert control when I feel like I don't have any control. So some of the other ways that I am exerting control is through gardening. I was already interested in gardening. I already kept a small garden, but now, if you see behind me, I have planted 8 rows of potatoes over there, and then I have planted, I think it's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Can you see? I have 10 pots of potatoes there, and then 1 of carrots. I need to do some more carrots. And then I have a small, 3 small raised beds that I am planting. I'm doing all of this because I am anxious. Now, I would have done most of this anyway. I would have done potatoes anyway. I would have done all 3 raised beds anyway, but I'm doing more of this because this is how I handle anxiety and stress. It may not be the best coping mechanism, but it's what I'm doing because I can't write right now. I don't have any emotional bandwidth to be creative. I have a job where I take care of the needs of other people's emotions. I'm taking care of the needs of my family's emotions. And I'm trying to take care of mine, although I think I'm doing a fairly poor job at it, but I don't have the emotional bandwidth to take care of the emotional needs of my characters. And so what do we do when crisis is around us and the things that we normally do that bring us joy are things that we can't do right now? For me, reading and writing were things that gave me a deep sense of joy and purpose and meaning. And right now, I just can't do them. So I'm gardening and I'm canning and I'm cooking and I'm tidying my house. And I'm hoping that these efforts can help me to feel a little bit more safe, a little bit more calm, a little bit less anxious, and that eventually, even if this crisis continues to worsen, which I believe it will, I will be able to write again and read again. Right now, I can't do those things, so I'll let you know how the journey progresses. I will let you know how I'm doing and what I'm doing, even if I'm not writing. I will talk about some of the nonfiction books that I'm reading that have to do with gardening and homesteading. These are interests I had long before this crisis happened, but I know that some people are more interested now that they're beginning to see how fragile our food systems are and things like that. So I will probably do a video on some of the books and YouTube videos and channels that I like to follow. Anyways, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope that you can find words, and I hope that you are finding healthy coping mechanisms for the stress and anxiety that we all have. Everyone has anxiety right now, and it's okay to be anxious. It's okay to be upset and sad and frustrated. It's okay to grieve the plans that have been canceled. And it's okay to not be creative for a season, because this season is really stressful, and I think it's only going to get more stressful. Find something that gives you life, even if it isn't writing or reading. Maybe it's coloring, maybe it's listening to classical music, maybe it's walking your dog, maybe it's planting a seed on your windowsill and watching it grow. In all things, y'all, I hope you are well. I'll talk to you soon.